Okay, picture this. You've just woken up, it's quiet, and you're holding that warm mug of coffee, you know. It's more than just a drink, it's a ritual, right? A comfort that kickstart to your day. But then maybe that little voice creeps in, that guilt. Should I be drinking this? Isn't coffee, like, dehydrating me? Am I messing up my health before the day even starts? It's a question that's been around for ages, honestly, turning a simple pleasure into this uh, nagging worry. So, this deep dive, our mission today is to cut through all that noise, question it, get to the actual science about coffee and hydration. Today, you're going to learn where this whole myth started, how your body really hydrates, and maybe how this changes how you think about your daily fluids. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, isn't it, how some ideas just stick. Even without really solid science behind them, they get so embedded in, our culture, creates all this unnecessary stress around perfectly normal habits. So this deep dive is really about understanding the incredible way our bodies work, moving past those sort of rigid diet myths that oversimplify things.
Definitely. And before we even get back to coffee, we need to get a handle on what's actually going on inside us when we drink anything. So think of your body like a city, a really bustling, super sophisticated city. In this city, water is, well, it's the ultimate utility worker. It does everything. Keeps the lights on, keeps things running. It's like the mail service, delivering nutrients, oxygen to every single cell, every neighborhood. And it's the sanitation department flushing out waste, toxins. Plus, it's the HVAC system keeping your temperature just right, whether it's hot or cold out. When you're hydrated, that city runs smoothly, optimally even. Everything just humming along. But when you're dehydrated, even a little bit, those services slow down, they falter. And that's when you feel it, right? That brain fog. Focus gets tricky. The fatigue creeps in. Those dull headaches, maybe even feeling dizzy for a second.
That city analogy, it's perfect because it really shows just how many things water supports. It's fundamental. It's not just about thirst. It's literally enabling life. We don't always appreciate it until, well, the supply drops. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, just everyday functioning, even mild dehydration, it has a noticeable impact. We're talking cognitive function, thinking clearly, solving problems, remembering things. It hits your energy levels, those metabolic reactions powering everything. And definitely physical performance, whether you're exercising or just going about your day. Good hydration isn't like a bonus. It's non-negotiable for that city, our body, to run the way it should.
Okay, so with that baseline set, let's zero in on this coffee thing. Where did this idea, this hydration villain idea, actually come from? Because it wasn't just random. No, it started with a little bit of science that got twisted over time, misunderstood, really. The story goes back almost a century. 1928, a study noticed caffeine has a diuretic effect. Now, a diuretic basically is just something that makes your kidneys produce more urine, so you lose more fluid. And caffeine does this in a couple of ways. It slightly increases blood flow to the kidneys, and it also kind of inhibits a hormone called vasopressin. You might know it as ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Normally, ADH tells your kidneys, hey, hold on to water, conserve it. But with less ADH, because of the caffeine, the kidneys get a weaker save water message, so they release a bit more water. And yeah, you might need the restroom a bit more.
And right there, that's the key misinterpretation. That's where it went off track. The message that got passed around was simple, kind of alarmist. Caffeine makes you pee more, so it dehydrates you. Sounds logical, right? Cause and effect. A leads to B. But that leap, while it grabbed a tiny piece of truth, it totally missed the biggest part of the picture, which is a huge amount of water that actually comes in the coffee itself. What people didn't focus on was the net fluid balance, the overall picture. So this raises a really important question. Just how much water are we losing from that tiny effect compared to how much we're gaining from the drink?
Exactly. That is the absolute core of it. Net fluid balance. It's not just what goes out. It's the total coming in versus the total going out. Simple math, really. Let's use an analogy. Imagine a bucket, okay? But it has a tiny little hole in the bottom, almost invisible. Now you pour a whole liter of water into that bucket. Because of that tiny hole, maybe 100 milliliters leaks out slowly. Did you empty the bucket? No way. You still added 900 milliliters. Net gain. That's pretty much exactly what happens with coffee. Your average 8-ounce cup, that's about 240 milliliters, has around 95 milligrams of caffeine, give or take. Now, that caffeine might cause a slight temporary increase in water loss, sure, a tiny leak. But you're also drinking 240 milliliters of water. The vast majority of that fluid gets absorbed, used by your body. That diuretic effect, it's so mild, especially if you drink coffee regularly. It doesn't come anywhere close to canceling out the liquid you drink. The net result, it's positive hydration. It adds to your fluids. It changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah. It absolutely does. And this is where our bodies are just, well, amazing, so adaptable. For people who drink coffee or tea regularly, that slight diuretic effect, it gets even weaker. Your body develops a tolerance. It's smart. The kidneys just become less sensitive to caffeine's immediate impact. That temporary increase in urine output, it shrinks. Or for many regular drinkers, it basically disappears. So this adaptation means for millions of people enjoying their morning coffee, that ritual, it's not just comforting. It absolutely counts towards their hydration. It's just not the bad guy it's been made out to be for so long.
Okay, so knowing all this, what does it actually mean for you listening right now in your day-to-day life? Bringing the science back home, it's kind of liberating, I think. Understanding this frees you from that unnecessary guilt trip, lets you make informed choices. Not based on old wives' tales. We know how vital hydration is. We talked about the city analogy. Think about your brain function. It's mostly water. Even slight dehydration messes with focus, memory, mood, your energy levels too. Water's key for metabolism. Fatigue. Often the first sign you need more fluids. Physical performance, regulating temperature, lubricating joints, getting nutrients to muscles. Water does all that. And just overall health, skin, digestion, kidney function. Water is the quiet hero behind almost everything.
Exactly. And what's really powerful is that shift, moving away from fear, from dogma you haven't questioned, making choices based on actual knowledge. That's empowering. So, okay, we've cleared coffee's name. Let's take this net fluid balance idea and think broader. Because this principle, it doesn't just apply to coffee. It applies to pretty much everything else you drink.
Right. Let's think about what else counts towards your hydration, besides plain water, obviously. That net fluid balance intake minus output, it works for almost anything with water in it. Tea, black tea, green tea. Yeah, they have caffeine, but they're mostly water. They hydrate you. Herbal teas, too, obviously. Often caffeine-free, sometimes with other benefits, like chamomile for relaxing or peppermint for digestion. All contributing fluid. What about milk? Or juice. Often overlooked, milk is amazing, actually. Water plus electrolytes, protein, carbs. Great for after exercise. Some studies show it rehydrates really well, maybe even better than water sometimes, because it releases fluid more slowly. Juices, okay, watch the sugar, but they definitely provide fluid, plus vitamins, antioxidants, even soda. Look, it's not a health drink with all that sugar, but purely from a fluid balance view. It provides fluid. It's not dehydrating. And don't forget, food, so important. Lots of fruits and veggies are over 90% water. Think watermelon, cucumbers, strawberries, celery. So refreshing. Soups, stews too. Great fluid sources, especially when it's cold or you need gentle rehydration. Your body isn't picky. It uses water wherever it finds it.
That's such a key point. The body's resourceful. It takes water from all these places. But you mentioned the full spectrum, and there's one really big exception to this rule we need to highlight, and that's alcohol. Alcohol is different. It's a potent diuretic, way more potent than caffeine. It suppresses that hormone, vasopressin, much more strongly and for longer. So with alcoholic drinks, you can easily end up losing more fluid than you take in. That leads to a net negative balance. And that's where you get those classic dehydration symptoms, the hangover, headache, the dry mouth. We all know the feeling. What's fascinating here is just seeing how different things interact with our body's systems. They're not all the same. Alcohol is the clear case where that bucket analogy, the hole gets much bigger. You're losing fluid faster than you're adding it. That causes real stress.
Yeah, that distinction is crucial. Alcohol is just in a different league when it comes to dehydration. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Diet culture loves simple rules, right? Rigid, one-size-fits-all stuff. But when it comes to something complex like hydration, those rules often just don't hold up to the science. Even if you follow health news, some of these hydration truths just seem to stick around. They're so ingrained. Let's tackle a few of these head on. Myth number 1. You must drink 8-ounce glasses of plain water every single day.
Ah, yes, the famous 8x8 rule. The reality, it's much more nuanced. It's a popular guideline, sure, but there's actually no strong scientific backing for that specific amount for everyone. Your personal fluid needs, they change all the time. Depends on your age, sex, how active you are, the climate, your health, so many factors. And like we just covered, all fluids except alcohol and water-rich foods count towards your total intake. Really the best approach, scientifically speaking. Listen to your body. Pay attention to its signals.
I have to say, for years, I felt like I was failing if I didn't hit that 8-glass target. It feels good to hear the science is more about listening to ourselves. Which brings us right to myth number 2. If you feel thirsty, you're already dangerously dehydrated, it's too late.
Right. It lifts a weight, doesn't it? Allows you to trust your body's signals. And yeah, that thirst myth, the reality is totally different. Thirst isn't some emergency alarm. It's actually a brilliant signal.
Yeah.
Really finely tuned. Is just your brain saying, hey, water levels are a bit low, let's top up.
Hmm.
For most people, just going about their day, drinking when you feel thirsty is perfectly fine. It works. This idea that thirst equals danger, it's just not accurate. It creates needless anxiety around a totally normal feeling.
Okay, huge relief on that one too. But what about what we can see? Myth 3, yellow urine is bad. You need crystal clear urine.
Urine color, yes, it's a useful clue, an indicator. But like any signal, context is key. Pale, straw-like yellow, that's generally good. That's usually a sign of good hydration. Dark yellow, maybe amber, yeah, that probably means you should drink some more water. It's a prompt. But, and this is important, aiming for perfectly clear urine all the time. That might mean you're actually overhydrating. Drinking too much water can flush out electrolytes, mess up your body's balance. In rare, extreme cases, it can even be dangerous, leading to something called hyponatremia. So pale yellow is the goal, generally, not crystal clear. And this just raises that important question again. How easily simple signals get misinterpreted, leading to worry or even doing the wrong thing.
So interesting how we oversimplify sometimes. Looking ahead now, it really feels like health and nutrition are shifting, moving away from those generic rules, like you said, towards really personalized approaches. And hydration's right there in the mix. We're seeing some cool tech emerging, aren't we? Designed to give you real-time, personal feedback. Things like smart water bottles that track how much you drink, send reminders based on your activity, maybe even the weather, and wearable sensors. I've read about ones being developed that analyze your sweat during exercise. Imagine knowing exactly your electrolyte and fluid loss. That's huge for athletes or anyone really active. Plus, functional beverages are popping up everywhere, not just sugary drinks, but ones formulated with specific electrolytes, vitamins, aiming to optimize hydration for different needs.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating here is how this tech can work with our ability to listen to our own bodies. It's a synergy. The future isn't about just blindly following an app, maybe. It's about using all the data points. Data from tech, sure. But also, crucially, data from your own body's signals thirst, energy levels, urine color, all of it. Using all that to build a hydration plan that's truly yours. Personalized, dynamic. Smarter information leads to smarter choices.
So let's circle back. That quiet morning moment, that warm mug of coffee, can you finally just enjoy it guilt-free? Yeah. The science, as we've unpacked today, seems pretty clear. Reassuring even. Yes, absolutely, yes. Your daily coffee, your tea, they aren't the villains. They're actually contributing to your fluid needs, helping that inner city run smoothly. We saw how the fear came from misunderstanding diuretics, ignoring that simple truth, net fluid balance, what comes in versus what goes out. We busted the myth that only plain water counts. We debunked the idea that thirst is some kind of failure signal. So what does this all mean for you? I think it means empowerment. Trust your body. Listen to it. Make informed choices, not based on outdated rules. Hydration isn't about hitting some magic number like 8 by 8. It's about a flexible, holistic approach, using lots of different fluids, water-rich foods throughout your day.
Beautifully put. And as you continue on your health journey, building those lasting habits, we really encourage you to just keep asking that one simple, powerful question. The one at the heart of all these deep dives. What does the science actually say? When you do that, you trade that anxiety for knowledge. You swap fad following for confident, evidence-based choices about your body, your health. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, lifelong learning, this approach, this curiosity, it applies everywhere in wellness, not just hydration. It gives you real autonomy. So seriously, go ahead, refill that coffee cup. Your body, now that you understand it a bit better, will absolutely thank you.